What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new Starcraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro Circuit. Spawning here in the top right hand corner of Black-Pink LE, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently down in the series, but certainly not out of it just yet. His name is none other than SortOf. And his opponent, spawning in the cross position, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently winning this game and wants to close out this match right here and right now. His name is Nerchio. So, guys and girls, this series, and this game in particular, was played at the WCS in Leipzig, was round one of that tournament, and it's a best-of-5 series. So, Nerchio is on game point right now, I should say match point, in this series. So if he wins, he moves on to the quarterfinals in the WCS Leipzig tournament. And SortOf is trying to hold on for dear life as he is down and he's on the brink of elimination from the WCS in Leipzig. It does look like we are going to get a hatch gas pool opener from both of our players, at least at this point in the game. You guys will see that on the top left-hand corner of that production tab, you'll see that, generally speaking, in the early game of the ZvZ matchup, it's usually very similar as far as those production tabs are concerned. Nerchio, one of my favorite Zerg players to watch. I absolutely love watching this guy. Comes up with some very interesting, unique builds. Did have somewhat of a little bit of an off year, I would say, in 2018. I'm anticipating he's going to have a much better year in 2019. I think he is definitely still one of the best Zerg players out there in the world. And maybe that's just a little bit of some bias, just because I really do like him as a player. I think he comes up with some very interesting builds. But I do think that he is very good at what he does. Now, SortOf obviously is not nearly as well known as Nerchio, but nonetheless, he can play with some of the best players out there. He really can. I mean, obviously, these past couple of games against Nerchio, he hasn't been able to obtain victory, but he's come up with some very interesting builds that I feel like he's kind of almost there. It's like an almost sort of thing. He almost had Nerchio really in both games. But somehow, someway, Nerchio just too good for really any types of cheese or aggression, you know, just being really good at his defense as well and just kind of slowly overwhelming his opponent. He was able to obtain victory in games 1 and 2. Now, here's something that's very interesting. We are going to go ahead. We're going to see a Bailey next coming in for Nerchio. We're also going to see that third hatchery going down, but we're going to see something very similar coming out of SortOf. He's getting that third hatchery as well. So instead of essentially only going on 2 bases and then very slowly but surely gradually getting his third base in the first couple of games, SortOf has decided to go ahead and get his third hatchery out very early. And I like this decision a lot because it's going to be more of a matchup of course mind games, but other than that, it's also going to be a macro focus game most likely between these two. And I'm really excited to see who really is able to come out on top when, you know, both players are doing very similar builds. As you can see, the build orders are still relatively similar, at least at this point. You've got Nerchio moving across the map with some of those Zerglings, trying to just kind of poke in, see if they can get any types of information, maybe, you know, kill a drone or two. You are going to see also that the evolution chamber is going to be coming in now for Nerchio, and we're also going to see the Roach Warren coming in, though, for SortOf. So it looks like Nerchio's decided to go ahead and start getting his upgrades up a little bit quicker, whereas SortOf wants to go ahead and get his Roach Warren out and start getting some of those higher tier units. We are going to see some of these Zerglings are going to start trying to threaten that third hatchery. Does not look like it's going to be under any critical amounts of damage. But nonetheless, there are some Zerglings that are going to start moving in. Beautiful Baneling hit, though, on some of those Zerglings. That was a very nice connection for Nerchio on a group of those Zerglings. And here we go. It seems like there's going to be there's Zerglings and activity happening all over the map. And this is why I love the ZvZ matchup so much. generally speaking, there's going to be a lot of action going on all over the place. It looks like Nerchio is going to go after the drones of that third hatchery. And the question is he overextending just a little bit? He is going to get out of there before the overextension really happens. Does look like there are going to be some of those banelings are going to start moving in, an eye for an eye, so to speak. Both of them do take out one another, and it does look like, at least at this point, we are going to see once again, Nerchio is going to go ahead. He's going to get that lair up and running. He's also going to get his roach warren, which is now just finishing up. And you know, I really like the connections that Nerchio's been getting. Nerchio's got a really nice angle right now. He's got a lot of these units that, a lot of Zerglings that are going to get some of those drones for their troubles on that third hatchery. But it does look like it is going to be cleaned up eventually. A lot of these units are starting to move across the map. That is for SortOf. He's got some banelings as well as roaches and some Zerglings. Does look like it's all going to come down to some defense, though, for our red Zerg player. Some of those drones were pulled off the line to, you know, seek some shelter, so to speak. SortOf is going to try to pounce on this army. Beautiful baneling connections, but it does look like there's still going to be a couple of queens there that are going to help with those transfuses. The question is SortOf going to be overextending here? He is going to start to move in. He wants to get Nerchio. He wants to get back into this series, but the question is there going to be enough here as Nerchio is trying to hold on for dear life, trying to win this series 3-0 to move on to the quarterfinals of the WCS Leipzig. It's not over yet, though. SortOf is still trying to figure out the best angle to go at his opponent. More and more Zerglings are on that production tab for both players, and we also have some more roaches that are going to be coming in for Nerchio. Glad Reconstitution is also being researched right now as well for Nerchio. This is a very dangerous engagement, though. I like that SortOf is still putting on that aggression. I think he might just be able to barely squeeze this one out, but it looks like Nerchio is not afraid. He's going to go right after some of those Ravagers and absolutely beautiful connections. Somehow, some way, he is buying himself time against this army as SortOf is still trying to break through, and Nerchio is not allowing it. Some of these drones are starting to be pulled off the line here of the natural expansion. SortOf is playing this thing very patiently. Can he get an angle, or is Nerchio not going to allow an angle whatsoever? Because Nerchio is now going to start moving up onto that ramp near the third base location. He's going to go after a lot of these units, and it looks like now SortOf is actually running dry on some of these units, and Nerchio somehow, some way has held on once again with this defense. Absolutely brilliant. Now, it's not over yet. Nerchio knows exactly that there is another group of units that are going to start moving in. He sees everything that's going on, but somehow, some way, Nerchio's defense has been absolutely superb in this series. Absolutely brilliant. It has been an incredible defensive effort. It started with defense, and now we're starting to see Nerchio is starting to take a lead in that production tab, or I should say, you know, in the supply count. And now it looks like he's going to start to move in. Looks like some of these Zerglings are going to start moving in, but once again, Nerchio just has enough units here to defend against any types of aggression. He's going to start moving in, and SortOf has to GG out, and Nerchio wins this series 3-0 against his opponent. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Nerchio and SortOf, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.